So, but it's good. Good experience. We give a good action fight to the fans.
A few days after it was announced that Manny Pacquiao was coming out of retirement, the boxing legend hit his opponent with a heavy slap as they had their first face-off once the fight between Manny Pacquiao and Barrios was confirmed. A face-off was planned between the pair for media work. They both met at Las Vegas, the likely location for the world title fight between them.
明日はこのような機会を最大限に発揮して力を見せたいと思います。私の試合もそうですけれども、明日は素晴らしい試合がたくさん並んでいるので、ぜひ全大会楽しみにして。
05クリアです。
クリアです。
After granting interviews and answering questions, both men stood across from each other for the face-off. It was initially stern and serious between the pair before Barrios began trash-talking Pacquiao and saying some things into his ears. This forced Pacquiao to violently throw his hands at Barrios, and the security team, who had been initially relaxed with the pair, sprang into action and separated them before it got any worse. After the face-off, Manny Pacquiao was interviewed and asked what really transpired between him and Barrios. When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight? It showed that combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches combinations, and it just shows that, he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, know everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can. Well, he didn't give the exact details of what happened, nor did he reveal the words Barrios said to his ears. He only accused him of disrespecting him. He deserved what he got. He should never disrespect me again. That must have been a great move by the boxing legend, as the video of him and Barrios went viral and generated enough buzz among boxing fans who felt quite disappointed in Pacquiao. However, some others claimed Barrios must have provoked Pacquiao to the point of hitting him. I'm so shocked Manny is coming out of retirement. I hope this doesn't backfire. It's too huge a step to take, not even in the heat of his political commitment. I know it works sometimes, but it's crazy. Let's see how this turns out.
Bro, Manny Pacquiao is trying to come back to boxing, and he won't fight Barrios for the 147-pound WBC welterweight title of the world. Manny, 8th division champion, bro. Hall of Fame fighter. Great memories of watching you fight.
Second fan wrote, Manny shouldn't have slapped this guy. He's setting himself up for a war. He's not ready, for he's really too old for this. And Barrios is clearly still hungry for wins. I hope he doesn't get hurt. One person who found the slap very disappointing commented, when did Manny Pacquiao become like this? This isn't the stuff of boxing legends. It's the stuff of guys like Jake Paul and KSI. I'm highly disappointed in Manny Pacquiao, and I really don't know if he cares about his legacy with the way the face-off has gone. It's not looking any better.
Sit your old ass down somewhere, man, and chill with your wife, bro. Go be senator, bro. Just because you didn't win president, don't mean you can't run again and maybe try to win the next time, dog. We not trying to see you back in the boxing ring.
The Filipino legend, who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame next month as boxing's only 8-division champion, has an agreement to challenge Barrios for the WBC welterweight title in Las Vegas on July 19th. Pacquiao has not fought as a professional since he was defeated by former WBA welterweight champion Yordenis Ugas back in 2021. Although he did face Japanese kickboxing star Rukia Ambo in an exhibition bout last July, Manny Pacquiao hopes to fight 2 or 3 more times before hanging up his gloves once and for all. It is understood terms were agreed following face-to-face talks between Pacquiao representatives of Barrios and promoters Premier Boxing Champions in the Philippines last week.
Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. That's a tremendous fight. It was released, PBC. Manny Pacquiao first title was flyweight WBC. and he wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
WBC President Mauricio Sullivan gave the bout his blessing while attending the Sal Canelo Alvarez-William Skull event in Saudi Arabia at the weekend, describing it as a great fight. The T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas has been lined up as a venue, but Pacquiao wants to wait until after the coming elections in his homeland before making a final decision and announcing his plans. The 46-year-old, who has not fought since defeat to Yordanis Ugas in August 2021, is in a tight race for a seat in the Senate of the Philippines, with voters going to the polls on May 12. Manny feels good, and that he still has it in him to compete at that level. He feels he can still fight 2 or 3 more times this year, next year, and maybe even 2027, a source close to Pacquiao told The National.
Pacquiao, already the oldest fighter to ever hold a welterweight title, defy the odds and break his own record by reclaiming championship glory. With a professional record standing at 62 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws, including 39 victories by knockout, Pacquiao is taking what may very well be his final gamble in a career defined by bold risks and historic triumphs.
It is understood Pacquiao is already in training and is not fazed by the short turnaround between the elections and a potential July 19th bout. He insists he needs only a 30-day camp and sparring to be ready, and would travel to the U.S. and reunite with longtime trainer Freddie Roach at the Wildcard Gym in Los Angeles. A bout against Barrios has been discussed for some time, and Pacquiao had been keen to bring it to the UAE. He considers Dubai his second home, possesses a golden visa, and held talks with Abu Dhabi Sports Council about staging the Barrios fight in the UAE capital.
Meanwhile, Barrios, age 29, enters the fight with a record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 18 of those victories coming by knockout. As the countdown to July begins, fans worldwide prepare to witness a captivating cross-generational battle. An aging legend chasing one last piece of history against a champion determined to make his own mark.
Last November, he put on a show for thousands of fans at Global Village before returning to take in the New Year celebrations at Burj Khalifa. He has numerous business dealings in the UAE and plans to open both a boxing museum and academy in Dubai. We are working right now, probably after this week. We can finalize everything for the fight here in Abu Dhabi, Pacquiao told The National in January. We are still negotiating. We were planning to fight in the United States in July. But why not here, bring Barrios here? It's going to be the 3rd week of July in Abu Dhabi for a world championship. We have had talks with his promoter, as Pacquiao revealed. Then the fight is indeed slated for the 3rd week of July. But the venue will be in Las Vegas, with the PBC eager to stage the event stateside.
There's talks of maybe Manny Pacquiao coming out of retirement, fighting Mario Barrios. Do you like that fight? And if so, how do you see that fight going?
Look, Manny Pacquiao is a different animal. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady come out of retirement all the time, and he does what he does. This is Manny Pacquiao. Yes, do you worry about him? He's facing a young gun, the guy that's fighting at the best of his ability right now. And Barrios, yeah, you worry about that. Barrios is a really good boxer.
Should he return to the ring for the first time since 2021, then it would take his record-breaking career into a 30th year, having debuted age 16 back in 1995. Pacquiao is the holder of several world records, including being the only boxer to lift a world title in 4 different decades. He previously served as a senator of the Philippines from 2016 to 2022. After this shock news broke earlier on in the week, former undisputed welterweight champion Terence Crawford has had his say on the sensational return to boxing for Pac-Man. Speaking in a media scrum, Crawford was asked to share his thoughts on the rumors that the Filipino legend is set to lace the gloves up once again after a 4-year hiatus. I don't know, we shall see. I don't know.
There's a rumour going around this week that Manny Pacquiao is going to return. What do you make of that?
I don't know. We shall see. I don't know.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
I can't say if he's too old or not. If he get in there and win, then everybody will be saying different. So I don't put no limit on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao.
Where does a win against Canelo
Bud was then asked if he believes Pacquiao is now too old to face someone like Barrios. I can't say if he's too old or not. You know, if he gets in there and wins, then everybody will be saying differently. So I don't put no limit on it all. Time great like Manny Pacquiao should the former champion victorious against WBC champion Barrios. It would be one of the most impressive victories in recent years. The last time Pacquiao held a world title was back in 2019, with his last defense coming against Keith Thurman in July 2019. Barrios made the first defense of his crown in November, when he fought to a split decision draw against Abel Ramos at the Ayton Stadium in Texas. The 29-year-old from San Antonio was elevated from WBC interim champion last June after Bud Crawford vacated the title ahead of his showdown with Israel Madrimov. You wanted to fight Manny.
You wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao. I think you were like 27, 28 when you wanted to fight Pac. Why didn't that fight happen?
I hear so many excuses like they didn't want it, but Freddie Roach on the record saying he didn't want Pacquiao to fight. I just think Top Rank wanted to protect Pacquiao because of the money issue.
Boxing icon Amir Khan has expressed surprise and concern over Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to the professional ring against reigning World Boxing Council welterweight champion Mario Barrios, warning that the Filipino legend is one punch away from getting hurt at age 46. Speaking to Mail Sport in Saudi Arabia, Khan weighed in on Pacquiao's much-anticipated comeback after 4 years away from the sport, calling the proposed July showdown against Barrios a good fight, but also highlighting serious risks given Pacquiao's age and recent performances. I mean, it shocked me a little bit, Khan admitted.
When's Amir Khan coming back?
You know, the only person I'll come back for, on a serious note, would be Manny Pacquiao. I would not come back for anyone else. It'd make me train even harder than like a Kell Brook fight, because he's an animal, and you know, you need that push.
I know Barrios really well. He's still young. He still has that fire in his belly, and he will give him big problems. Barrios has been looking really good in his last couple of fights, whereas Manny obviously lost his last fight. Pacquiao last stepped into a professional ring in 2021 when he was outpointed by Yenis Ugas. Since then, he has participated in exhibition bouts, including a disappointing showing against Japanese kickboxer Rukia Ampo last July, where his 46 years were visibly apparent as he struggled to match the pace. Barrios, by contrast, has remained active and hungry, fighting 5 times since Pacquiao's last professional bout. And Manny,
He got in touch with me as well. Manny was like, shall we do a fight? He's quite serious about it. He was like, shall we make a fight happen? I go, listen, if you can get a funder, if you can get someone like a Turkey Yellow Sheikh on board, then why not?
There's no, I mean, that must be have to be made that. Yeah. I mean, surely.
You do that for the right money, right?
Massive. Look, we've had our best days, and I think a fight like that would definitely.
Mexican-American claimed the WBC interim title in 2023 by defeating Ugas, and was elevated to full champion shortly afterward. Recently, he retained his belt in a split draw against Abel Ramos on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson undercard. Despite the odds, Pacquiao, who won his first world title at flyweight 25 years ago, insists he still has something left to offer the sport. I want to go out making history, Pacquiao told ESPN, citing his landmark victory over Keith Thurman at age 40 as proof he can still compete with elite fighters. I mean, money, having a massive Filipino fan base, and all around the world, really. And then, obviously myself, I've got a decent fan base as well. So I think it will definitely sell. And people would like to see when people make comebacks. I mean, people always like to see them see how the fight's going to be, and me and Manny are probably in the same position. We'd be both being retired for like 3-4 years. I think it will make a good fight. You're only 38 as well, so we've seen boxers older than that getting back into the ring. Khan, however, urged caution. Why does Manny need to come back? He said, we both retired around the same time. At least I've got the age on my side with Manny. I think he's way past that age where we don't want him to get hurt. He's always one punch away from getting hurt. He's only getting older. I'm sure he's nearly touching 45 or something. When told that Pacquiao was actually 46, Khan said, wow, so almost 50 older than I thought. So even more to the point. Khan went on to add, I'm sure he wants to become a world champion. And yet, looking at him and looking at Styles make fights he has a good chance of winning. But like I said, he's always one punch away from getting hurt. So doesn't he want to just enjoy himself now? He had a hard career all his life, why not? Sit back and relax.
Yeah. He's still at a good age where you certainly could box again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at George Foreman, the late George Foreman. He was a great champion, and he came back. I think he must have been in his late 40s when he come back and won a world title as well. So look, in boxing, it's always that one punch. And at the same time, though, guys, is that I look back and think, do I need to get back in the ring again? You know, we've always been prize fighters. I've always taken punches to the head. It could just be that one punch that hurts you, and God forbid you get hurt and you can't spend good quality time with your family.
Khan also opened up about his own unfulfilled plans to face Pacquiao in the ring, a mega fight that had long been teased, but ultimately never materialized. It just really didn't kick off, Khan explained. I don't know, I just didn't hear anything back. Manny didn't hear anything back from the investors. Khan and Pacquiao have been touted to fight for years, but the mega fight never materialized. He revealed that although there was serious interest and discussions with potential backers, the financial support never fully came together. There were a few investors that were interested in making the fight, but when we didn't see the funds, we thought we'd leave it. Because at the end of the day, look, we're prize fighters, but we want to make sure that the people putting the money down are 100% legit.
Talks about it for a long time that, he wants to fight again. But I don't know, there's nothing really that materialized from it, you know what I mean? As long as if we can get like a Turkey or a Sheikh or someone to put the money down and persuade Manny to do this, then it'll happen. But other than that, I don't think it'll happen.
You've been talking. I know you've always
we know each other. We spoke about it, but it's somewhat about the investment. If someone's willing to put the investment down, and we've not really got anyone.
If it's someone like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Bob Arum, or Oscar De La Hoya, you know what's going to happen. But if it's a third party who hasn't done a show before and wants to put the money down, I was just a little bit reluctant to move forward. With that, the collapse of the potential bout was a disappointment to fans who had long hoped to see the two face off in a battle of former champions. The two fighters shared a similar trajectory in many ways, both starting as teenage prodigies and both capturing world titles in multiple divisions before retiring around the same period. Though Pacquiao is now set for another title fight, Khan was more hesitant when asked about his own future in boxing. If it's someone like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Bob Arum, or Oscar De La Hoya, you know what's going to happen. But if it's a third party who hasn't done a show before and wants to put the money down, I was just a little bit reluctant to move forward. With that, the collapse of the potential bout was a disappointment to fans who had long hoped to see the two face off in a battle of former champions. The two fighters shared a similar trajectory in many ways, both starting as teenage prodigies and both capturing world titles in multiple divisions before retiring around the same period. Though Pacquiao is now set for another title fight, Khan was more hesitant when asked about his own future in boxing.
He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits.
The Bolton native, who last fought in 2022, admitted that while he occasionally feels the itch to return, he's unsure if he still has the hunger for the grueling demands of elite-level preparation. I've been out of the game for 3 years. Now you do get the itch, but I don't know if I have it in me. Khan suggested the only way he could truly decide is by stepping back into training camp, even for a short stint, to assess whether he still possesses the mindset of a contender.
Look, but it's Manny. Manny's C game, D game is a lot better than a lot of guys' A game. If Manny's coming back, he believes that he can win. It'd be interesting to see. But I just hope that after the last time seeing him inside the ring when he struggled against
He fought Ugas, which
yeah,
Mario later beat.
Yeah, he struggled against Ugas.
If I go into a mini camp and then realize, do I still have that in me? I'll know. I'm sure I'll know in a week or maybe a month. Really, the first weeks are always hard, the first 2 weeks, but I don't know if I have the fire in me to go back to that gym and train hard again like a challenger. Khan revealed he never fought Pacquiao because the financial support from investors never fully came together. When you can't train like a challenger and you can't put the work in, or you don't have the heart, the fire, and the belly, there's no point training because you only get hurt.